Once we're done, you can review it again if you have any questions about it. Okay, so I'm Miss Henry. I'm the person who's going to be facilitating the virtual internship. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, let's go for it. So this is the what the course that you're enrolled in right now is the online internship, Mod 160. And this is an orientation document that I'm also going to email to you once we're done so you can review it for reference, okay? And so what I'd like for you to do right now is I'd like for you in the chat box to go ahead and type your information in. You type your email address and your phone number, if you don't mind. Can you see my screen? You can see my screen now, right? Can you see the screen now? I can't hear you. You can unmute.
Yeah,
okay.
I can see it now.
Okay. So make two things. Make sure that you, number one, type your name and your phone number in the chat box. And secondly, make sure you take down this phone number, my phone number. This is a phone number that you can text me at or call if you have questions, but I'd like for you to make a note that I am available between 11:30, I'm available between 10:30 and 1 o'clock on a daily basis. And then after that, I'm not available until 5 p.m. because of other professional commitments.
Okay.
So if you want to contact me, the best way to contact me is through email, the email that you see here. And I usually have a 24-hour turnaround. Okay?
Okay.
Alrighty, so let's go for it. Let's talk about what we're doing. I'm going to read this and you can read along with me. The MIBC virtual externship is meant to simulate the tasks routinely performed by a medical insurance biller and coder in the professional setting, and who has some fundamental knowledge. And I'm going to make this larger to make sure you can see it. Okay, that's bigger. Let's see. Who routinely performed by a medical insurance biller who has some fundamental knowledge of procedural CPT codes and diagnostic ICD-10-CM coding, and an understanding of the billing cycle in the ambulatory outpatient physician office setting. The MIBC virtual externship is formatted in 9 sessions. Each student begins their virtual externship based on the same modular format that you follow during your core courses. That is, you will begin in whatever the current session is. This week, you're beginning session 4, and this is where you will start. Each of these sessions involves performing various tasks, and you'll be expected to complete if you are working in an individual facility or a physician's office or an actual medical billing business. This includes insurance verification, pre-authorization for a service, that's in session 1, scheduling appointments and entering demographics, that started in session 2, completing super bills and submitting claims, that was performed in session 3, and continues in session 4 where you are with the fundamental task in the revenue cycle, including posting payments from an EOB. This includes the previously listed tasks plus posting explanation of benefits. Also included in each session is a requirement for procedural and diagnostic coding of a variety of tests. Excuse me just a minute.
Okay.
Also included in each session is a requirement for procedural and diagnostic coding of a variety of reports, not tests. As part of your virtual externship, you will be required to utilize 2 resources on your Evolve platform. The first resource is the Simulation Playground within SimChart for the medical office. I'm going to briefly mute you just to keep the background noise down. The first resource is the Simulation Playground within the SimChart for the medical office, and the second resource is Buck's Simulated Medical Coding Internship. Therefore, we ask that you make a request to your last instructor to keep you on the roster for these courses within Evolve, or to add you back onto the roster right away. Inform me immediately if this does not happen. Are you familiar with both of these?
Yes. Well, the simulating medical coding, yes. The playground sim chart, I'm not sure.
But you're familiar with SimChart, right?
Yeah.
So the simulation playground is inside SimChart, and I'm going to show you that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but you have both of these softwares, right?
Yes.
Okay. So again, the simulated coding internship. Have you coded reports from the simulated coding internship?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Then you should be in good shape. You should be in good shape. You should understand exactly what's going on. So just make sure after we're done that you contact your instructor and let her know that you need to be kept on the roster so you can continue to have access to it. Okay?
Okay.
All right. I think you'll be fine. Usually, if students have had it, what school did you go to? Which campus?
Glendale?
Good. And so good. I'm glad that you are familiar with these. So there are two other things that I want to show you right now. These are what I'm about to show you and what I'm about to demonstrate relate to resources, and I'm sorry I'm not on camera right now, relate to resources, a particular resource that you need to utilize. What I put here, what I used to put here is that I recommend, but now what I'm doing is I am saying you need to utilize this resource, because a lot of students have been so far removed from the actual software that they don't remember that they have it sometimes, and sometimes not just the software, but they've been out of the course in which they used this textbook, which is Ford Needs Insurance, and the workbook. They've been out of the course for so long that they're not familiar with some basic things and these basic things that you need familiarity with, or a review or a refresher on, are the basic things that you're going to be using during the entire time for the externship course, for the virtual externship. So it's really important that you follow my guidance and use this book. The first chapter that I like students to reference is Chapter 4, the Insurance Basics. So make sure that if you don't start I think you start the externship on Monday, and if you do, for those of you who are listening to this recording, if you do start the externship on Monday, I would suggest that you would take some time between now and Monday and review Chapter 4, because in Chapter 4 is where you'll begin, that you understand the revenue cycle, specifically page 65. Page 65 shows you an outline of what the revenue cycle is, and it can actually get you in touch with things that you might not have conceptualized fully during the course of your studies in the program, but are relevant to what you're doing now. And if time permits, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the book itself to show you what the revenue cycle is. But for all intents and purposes, for right now, for the purpose of getting through this, since there was a delay, I'm going to bypass that for right now. But essentially, this is what you need. You need to review the basics of insurance, especially page 65, to get a concept of what the revenue cycle is. Do you know what the revenue cycle is? Do you have any idea of what it might be?
I remember reviewing it, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, then what I'm gonna, I know you. That's why I have students review this. The second part of this book, or the second reference in this book, would be Chapter 14, which gives you step-by-step instructions on completing the CMS 1500. Okay, you recall what the CMS 1500 is, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so the reason that you need to reference this, and the reason that it's important, is mainly because for every week you're going to have to manually complete the CMS 1500 form. And so this book, and I will open it up now, beginning on page 300, this book actually gives you step-by-step instruction on completing this book, and in addition, it has samples of various types of CMS 1500s that have been completed for your reference. So the expectation is that when you, I'm going to show you, I'll show you when we get into the course what you'll be doing with this. But you have various exercises to do in the simulation playground, and among those exercises within SimChart, simulation playground, is you have to do the output. You have to complete the super bill, which ends in the output or the creation of a CMS 1500 as it's created in SimChart. You remember doing that as part of your exercises?
Yeah.
Okay, so that particular CMS 1500, and even though this might be redundant, I'd like students to do this exercise mainly because it connects them with the various field, with all the fields and all the components of a CMS 1500. And the value of doing this is that once you're sitting in that biller's seat, you may have occasion that you receive a denied claim, and you may have to submit that claim, but you may have to resubmit that claim, but invariably with that denial, they will cite field blank in the CMS. Field blank, this field is empty. Incorrect information in box 21. Incorrect information in box 26B, etc. And you need to be familiar with what this means. You need to be able to associate this when you look at the CMS 1500. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And what I'm going to do I have it in there. So make sure, and I reiterate, I'm instructing you to review this chapter, okay, beginning on page 300 for step-by-step. When you have that task to complete the CMS 1500, make sure you review this. Also, as I mentioned here, that on pages 326 to 334, these are specific examples that you can follow. Therefore, I expect that your CMS 1500s will be 90% accurate, without exception. Okay? Now, keep in mind that while I will give you a numeric grade once I review your assignments, but that numeric grade is not factored into whether or not you pass your externship. What's factored into whether or not you pass your externship is that you submit all the assignments that are required for that week. All right, so that's how you will get attendance credit, by submitting the assignments. I will look at your assignments and give you feedback on what's right, what's wrong, improvement, only so that you as a professional biller are aware of how to do things the right way. Okay? All right. Okay, so the other chapter is chapter 16, receiving payments and insurance processing. And the importance of this is, let's see if it lets me, 365. I have an example of the book up now. The reason that it's important to review this page is because it has the components of a CMS 1500. And you can use this as a reminder of, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say CMS 1500. You can use this as a reminder of, let's see, I think I pulled up the wrong book. I apologize. Yeah, let me go back. Go home here. And this is the workbook. And I actually want the textbook. Example, what I have here is an example. This is on the page that I referenced, page 365 of your textbook. And this is actually the explanation of benefits example that I want you to reference. And in addition, what I'd like for you to do is make sure that you read what everything on here means, because you will understand this better. You will have a better understanding of the mechanics around posting the explanation of benefits if you study this. Does that make sense? Does this look familiar to you?
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah, good. All right, good. So I'm going to move this off of the screen now and save the book for later. And where am I? Let me pull my document up again to finish that, and then I'm going to, as quickly as possible, okay, so chapter 16, receiving payments, note EOB example. So actually, review that chapter for posting so you get a refresher on reposting payments. So in session 4, what you're going to be doing is scheduling appointments, entering different demographics and insurance information, completing a super bill and submitting a claim, posting EOBs, you're going to be doing coding, diagnostic and procedural coding of reports, and you're going to complete a YouTube video on the importance of accurate data entry. Okay, now every module you have to submit a YouTube video. Attendance, in order to, are you familiar with YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
But how long would the video have to be?
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Okay.
Just long enough for you to explain what it is that you are to show, just long enough to show that you understand the concept. This week the concept is the importance of data entry, and you can take 1 minute to explain it as long as it's a thorough concept, but I don't want any videos over 2 or 3 minutes. That's not what we're not looking for a big production. We're just looking to see that you can speak about a concept. That's all. Okay? And there are instructions on how to create a YouTube channel at the beginning of the course, and I'll show you that in a minute. And I can see now that we're kind of on short time, so I'm going to walk through some things very quickly, but I am willing, if you need assistance, I'm willing to have another session with you, or to show you, to send you, what I'm going to do is actually send you this link, and I'm going to send you another link that's more involved in detail.
Okay.
Okay? All right. So remember that in order to get full attendance requirement for the full 20 hours, all assignments are due by Thursday at 11:59 p.m. Okay, there's going to be an exception this week because tomorrow's Thanksgiving. All right, and you can, well, for those students who are already in, their assignments aren't going to be due until later because tomorrow's Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Okay, all assignments must be completed on a weekly basis in order for you to get credit. And you have to attend the Friday review session at 11 a.m. So in addition to this orientation that you attended this morning, beginning next Friday, you have to join the Zoom link at 11 o'clock. Okay? And a final note, the MIBC virtual externship is based on the curriculum you completed in the Medical Insurance Billing and Coding program at Northwest College, or the college that you attended. It's designed to give you an opportunity for hands-on application of theory and further the application of practical work completed in your KENS and Fortney's workbook, SimChart, and simulated coding internship to assist you in your preparation for employment. So, in other words, we expect you all to know this stuff. Okay, these concepts are concepts that you should know. All right, if you don't, and if you struggle with it, I am available to help you out. Now, very quickly, I'm going to show you as quickly as I can. I need to check something really quickly here. Move this over here. I'm going to pause the recording now, just a minute. 5 more minutes. So this is going to go really quickly, but I know I'm going to send you a link that's more comprehensively explains things, okay?
Okay.
Okay, the only difference in the link I'm going to send you is it doesn't really talk about the steps in posting an explanation of benefits, but it has everything else in it that you need to know. So essentially, when you come into the course, always look at the checklist, because this is going to tell you every single thing that you have to do. And if you follow all the steps on the checklist, you will complete all of your assignments. And in addition, you will have submitted an assignment in each one of these drop boxes, if you follow it. So each one of these drop boxes has to have an assignment in it in order for you to get full credit. And if you have a question?
No.
Okay, and if you have a question about, if you find that you're not, usually new students have a hard time at the beginning because it's like, oh my God, what is all this stuff? You know, until they figure out that you can actually find things and it's not that hard, especially since for every single thing you do, there is a document to help you, step-by-step instructions. Okay? Step-by-step instructions. And if you've entered demographic information, if you've worked in SimChart, you know how to do all this stuff already. It's just a matter of finding it. So everything, your assignments have to be in the Dropbox on time. If you find as a new student that you need more time, let me know before Thursday, okay? And that way I can give you an extension of time. Note that the completion of the CMS 1500, that requirement, I'll open this assignment, has in that box, there's a writable CMS 1500 that you'll be utilizing for completion, that you simply have to use one of the CMS 1500s that you completed in the SimChart activity and fill out this, copy it, basically. Okay, but I find that when students do this manually, they really begin to understand what a CMS 1500 is about and what's involved. When I don't have people do this or reference a CMS 1500 that they've done, they end up missing things, a lot of things. So that makes this exercise itself pretty simple. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you in SimChart for the medical office. If you have it, you do have it. You know how you click onto it and you click SimChart for the medical office. I have to do something. Excuse me just a moment. I'm going to have to clock out here. And it's taking some time anyway. I'm going to clock. It's probably taking a while to open up. Okay. So now, once you click into SimChart and you have it open, now you're going to see something different from what you're seeing here. You see your SimChart. I have a lot of them because I'm a teacher, all right? But once you click onto the SimChart for the medical office, what you find, you'll see all of your previous assignments. Don't pay any attention to that, all right? Where you find the simulation playground is in this tab right up here. Okay, this is where you're going to be doing all your work, okay? And whenever you click that tab, you always click on Return to Previous Session. Even if this is your first time logging in, you click that. The reason that we're using this is because what we're doing with all these documents that you have been given in the course, we are using material such as, and let's go back to session 4. What we're using is we're using materials such as demographics and insurance information, super bills, and explanation of benefits from an outside source. Okay, just to give the students practice as if it was real life. So you'll find some instances in which the documents may not match the steps that you're doing precisely. When you're following these steps that you see, the instructions, when you're following these instructions, something is going to look slightly different. And the main thing that's going to look different is that when you're required to enter a procedure or a supply that is not in the fee schedule for SimChart, you will have to enter it manually along with its fee in the same place that you would normally enter an office visit. That's the only difference, because we're kind of working with two different systems. Does that make sense? Okay. And so that's one of the main things that you'll find is different. But essentially, all of these demographic, these two folders here are where you'll find all the material that you need to complete the exercises as outlined. This is an appointment schedule, and this is how this appointment schedule looks. And you simply take the names and the times of these patients, and you can put 4-3-20, and you enter them into the appointment scheduler. Let me just, I'm going to get out of here. And you enter it into the appointment schedule just like you learned how to do in SimChart. And note that there is an opportunity when you're entering appointments that you have the opportunity to create a new patient, and you should say yes, create that patient. But you will have to go back once you have scheduled the appointment and created the patient. You'll have to go back to patient demographics and complete the demographics on the patient based on the demographic sheet that you're given. Okay? So this is real data entry. All right? And the demographics are in that same folder. You have the appointment, and then in alphabetical order, you have demographics and insurance information. These are the files that you use that end up looking like this. Okay? You also have super bills to enter. These are how the super bills look. Even though you have a paper document super bill, you will be creating the same way you created a super bill in SimChart. You will be creating a super bill based on the information in this super bill and this paper super bill. Okay, you'll be creating an electronic super bill in SimChart. And again, the instructions for doing this are step by step, are in the course, and they're located in the session. They're located right here. Scheduling an appointment and beginning, like at the beginning of entering demographics in a new patient, creating an office visit, completing a super bill. All of the instructions are right here. Posting the explanation of benefits. Okay? So all of these documents look the same. Make sure you pay attention, especially to the information on the super bill, where you are given, in this case, you're given an office visit, and note what the diagnosis is right here. This patient has malaise and fatigue right here. Sometimes you have to kind of search for them. So this is her diagnosis, and that's where you enter it in the diagnosis spot. And make sure that the amount that you enter for the visit, she also has pneumonia, which is unspecified, and that is somewhere, oh, it looks like it diagnoses if not checked above. So the doctor added pneumonia and in a diagnostic code there. So you have to add that. Make sure that the amount of the fee that you enter in matches this, because when you come to posting the explanation of benefits, as you can see with this person, this is the explanation of benefits. Her name is Nicole Adams. You see that the EOB, the payment that you're going to be posting, matches the charges. Okay, so when you pull it up to post the EOB, you'll find the charge that you put in, and this is how you post the payment. This is the amount that you'll be posting. Sometimes you'll have to do some adjustments because the patient will have a coinsurance amount. And when you get to that, if you have a question, just text me. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, I think you're going to be fine. There might be, some other students might have some challenges because what I found, I'm going to stop recording here.